We have put this presentation here. It's a team of colleagues from across ICRISAT, and it is really using the experiences of many of us working in the seed systems area, tracing back from historical perspectives. But essentially, we are really trying to see what would the seed systems research theme for ICRISAT be responsible for in order to be able to deliver the associated genetic gains at farmers' level. We all are aware and appreciative of the very high incidence of poverty and malnutrition in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. The fact that production of dryland cereals is always less than demanded, that prices are very high in our dryland areas, and the fact that availability of quality seed is one of the major constraints in these regions. And the understanding that really improving productivity and production will increase supplies and therefore bring down these constraints. And therefore, we'll look at seed systems from the perspective including from actually variety development to deliver the genetic gains to multiplication, processing, and delivery of the seed to smallholder farmers. So the main purpose and objective of a seed systems research strategy for ICRISAT will actually center around the delivery of outputs of genetic gain to farmers, and it will highlight the directions for action for seed systems research in order to produce tangible impacts at farmers' level. And it will also serve as a reference point and form the basis for future course of action to effectively reach smallholder farmers with the products of our breeding and crop improvement programs. Now, to make this useful, definitely it needs to be aligned with the ICRISAT strategic plan, which always calls for inclusive and demand-driven innovations, which are guided by high-quality research and impact, and which are also socially grounded, meaning that it is designed to serve the needs of the smallholder farmers first and foremost, and therefore particular attention needs to be paid to research initiatives that will focus on delivery models and have these models tested at smallholder level to really make sure they're addressing actually smallholder needs. And therefore, it is not a single actor perspective, alone intervention that will make the difference, but we expect it to include private, public, community-based organization, religious organization, all stakeholders along the value chain. And also, for it to be effective, geographical location is not expected to be a barrier to accessibility. We need to think of a seed system strategy for the Institute that will enhance accessibility of improved genetic products to smallholder farmers where they are, not farmers to walk 10, 15 kilometers to look for seed that will not fly. Affordability, and this is what keeps many of our farmers away, and they keep running to the open market to buy grain instead of seed. Again, it needs to be inclusive market outlet even before promotion, and by this we mean it needs to be built into the breeding program itself, that we are developing a variety for a purpose, and therefore once that variety is known, is developed, its market outlet is already known, rather than waiting till variety is released and we start awareness campaign. So if the variety development is actually linked to use, it will help quickly popularize our products of research. So where have we come from? keep talking of baseline. And when we were convincing the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to fund tropical legumes, issue of seed came high on the agenda. We say our farmers really rely on informal seed systems to serve their seed needs through social networks, and they rely on grain market for their seeds. We also said, yes, informal systems continue to be important to smallholder farmers because they are resilient in times of disaster. And we even say they produce acceptable, in quotes, quality to farmers at the right time and at the right price. But is this the seed systems really what that we need to follow? It has been useful. How do we work along this seed system, to make sure that the products that are coming out of research reach farmers in the way that they are targeted to reach them? So we have learned from previous, since TL2, since we asked for those funds, a lot has happened. And we have several lessons that we have learned from that will really help us improve on our way forward. We have several strengths we can be proud of now. You heard even the DG mentioning, we have light spots to talk about. The Seed Revolving Fund in Malawi, for example, started 2002, 2003 as a simple way of supplying smallholders with improved seed or maintaining the early generation seed supply. To the extent now it is almost supplying more than half of the seed requirement of the country like Malawi. Is this a system that can be replicated? What lessons can we learn from this that will help other African and Asian countries to improve their early generation seed supply to the extent that it makes impact at farmer level? Again, coming to Malawi and through this seed system, when the program started, there was no single company working on legumes and small grains, for example. But now Malawi is boosting more than 10 seed companies that are involved in the production, dissemination, marketing, and selling of legumes in Malawi. Now, if it can happen in Malawi, definitely it is possible to happen in other countries as well. We have other light spots that we have learned through the Tropical Legume Program and through the HOP, like the Village Seed Systems Initiative in rural India, where entire villages have been converted into seed production brigades so that the problem of contamination and outcrossing is eliminated and farmers and people can collect seed for distribution. This system has also been successfully tried in Tanzania. So you have two diverse continents, one thing happening in India and similar thing happening in Tanzania, both producing similar results. We have a system that we call quality declared seed, that was an initiative started with agricultural seed sector development in Tanzania more than 10 years ago to produce seed that has less stringent certification requirement, but make sure that it is of enough quality to be able to serve farmers. And this initiative has really spread not only Tanzania now, it is practiced in Uganda and Ethiopia, and I'm sure in several other places. Truthfully labeled seed in India. There are lessons we can learn from India on how the truthfully labeled seed has been able to revolutionize seed supply to smallholder farmers. Again, issue of affordability, small seed packs through the tropical legumes. We see now many countries in both Eastern and Southern Africa are managing their seed distribution through small seed packs. In 2012, for example, Malawi groundnut program disseminated more than 800,000 small seed packs of groundnut in 2 kg packs. No wonder that variety dissemination in Malawi now is at commercial level through such a system. Primary schools, churches, farmer groups, farmer field schools. The entire essence is really to push for variety release again. Start seed systems from the time of variety release, like we've done in tropical legumes through farmer participatory variety selection. So, what do we what are the weaknesses we've seen? That number one, we are truly working with large number of partners, but their connectedness and relatedness has a lot to be desired. So we need to really put a binder between these partners. Now, also through iMod, we need to put technology marketability at the heart of our business, so that our interventions is focused. But so far, we are really focusing on small markets. Farmer participative variety selection only for own use. We are focusing on technologies for drudgery for women. What we really need to do is to move beyond seed market and target commodity markets. That includes producers and downstream users, so that we are operating at scale. Now, we have really not effectively also utilized the ICT revolution for smallholder seed users, and therefore, smart use of ICT for seed will help. Again, majority of interventions have been one way. We really need two-way communication to make a difference. Therefore, what would our seed strategy really rely on? Number one, it needs to build partnerships across seed system actors. It needs to be a system that has aggressive, inclusive market support. It needs to have a tailored capacity building and other relevant support for stakeholders along seed systems. It needs to develop strong communication systems, inclusive of ICT for seed and e-extension, which are new technologies coming up now. And it also needs advocacy and lobbying for more favorable and regulatory policy environment. I'll stop there for now. But each of these 5 bullets have points of direction that are listed, that what activities really do we need to do in each of these is what we will fill the gap during the brainstorming to make sure that we really come up with a strategy that is truly answerable to the needs. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Any question to Emmanuel? Okay, Dr. Upadhyay, please. And meanwhile, Abhishek, you can reach there.
Not question, just Emmanuel, just I wanted to confirm, you said 800,000 packs of 2 kilo each of Nyanda to Malawi?
Yeah, of granite, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's 2012.
Yeah.
And it's only when you can do that that you can reach the maximum number of farmers and say variety has been adopted.